Welcome to Hot Laps, brought to you by Heatshield Products. Race testing.
Welcome back to Hot Laps. We're on lap 13, lucky number 13, Shane.
We're with Patrick.
Yeah, we're with Patrick. Steve's not here today. He's working on the F100 build. So we got Patrick back from Florida. And how's everything going in Florida, Patrick?
It's going all right. It's a rainy day here in Florida today. Thank God. We've been dry for several weeks, so we needed some good rain. And with everything going on too, the county here, Hillsborough County, where Tampa's at, they're voting today on a requirement that anybody going out in public has to wear a face mask of some sort as part of the whole virus deal.
Shane, do you have your face mask?
Yeah, it's right here.
Oh, Shane's resorting to his hand. But that's interesting, Shane, because you were just walking around with like a heavy-duty chemical face mask.
My one I used for the grocery store. I put it down here. Let me grab it.
Yeah.
This is what I used for the grocery store. Looks a little bit like this.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm real paranoid.
Well, the funny thing is, like, okay, they're going to require everybody to wear a mask if you go to, like, the store or most places. But the problem is, has anybody tried to go buy masks right now?
Yeah, it's impossible.
Yeah.
It's like, I looked on Amazon last night, and the delivery date for what they've got on there, everything is, like, delivery in early June. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, that's not going to do much good.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you need an N95 mask and that drops, you just let us know, because we probably have one to spare here for you.
Yeah.
I'm not concerned.
Will they let you?
Honestly,
They
voted in, it's going to be the last straw because people are already they did a crackdown curfew starting last week, and everybody's starting to get kind of tired of some of this stuff. Like, did you see the protests in Michigan and North Carolina yesterday?
Ohio as well.
It's revolt time.
Yeah,
I think.
It's interesting because it's kind of, I wouldn't say it's on like a tiptoe scale, but it seems like, to your point, that there's some people that are not happy. But
no, and you're not going to be able to get an ID on them because they're all covered up, their whole face.
Right, and the interesting thing that you said, two interesting things. One was it's been dry in Florida, but you're sitting in a bar, so I'm not sure how that could be. And number two, it seems like, are the regulations in Florida more strict than California? How is that even possible?
I don't know. Yeah, because California's super overregulated.
They're talking. They said,
But you can be homeless and smoke a crack pipe on the sidewalk out here.
Well, yeah,
and that's no problem.
You could do that. Somebody's camera's going bad. Your camera's bad.
Oh no! Here, I can fix that.
We'll keep talking. So,
but I thought it was funny you mentioned about going out to the desert earlier, and how but you can't do that because no camping. I'm thinking, if you're out in the desert, one of the recreational areas camping, if you're the required distance away from each other, that would be a perfect environment to, not catch something.
Yeah, I would agree, and probably Shane would agree with you as well. But the reality is that the place that we normally go to is right on the cusp of federal land, what we call BLM, but the rest of it is in a state park. So the state park is virtually shut down, and you can't. It's interesting because you come down into the desert floor, and you can't not help go through the state park, and then that's all closed. So I'm sure the rangers out there.
Well, you can drive on the roads. The roads aren't closed.
It's the off-road.
Yeah.
So, yeah, to your point, in there you have to be, I forget, it's like 100 yards or something like that off of the road to camp or something like that. But I think people are getting away with it.
Yeah, that's why that place is so great, because it's just camping kind of like anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere that's
But,
possible.
I think people are getting away with everything. Is your camera squared away?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I think. I don't know.
So, the other thing that was interesting is you're saying that you guys are dry, and California's had, like, smoke and rain. Like, we literally had a freeway underwater.
Yeah.
That's nuts to me. But it didn't rain, 9 days straight or something?
9 days straight, no let up. It was just,
Yeah, we're not equipped for that. And
No.
that freeway, because the traffic has been so low, has just become like a drag strip. I was on it the other day,
Yeah.
and people are just doing 90 or 100.
Oh yeah, because there's no traffic.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
flying like
Yeah.
the Autobahn.
Yeah.
It's just nuts, man. I mean, people, slow down, people. It's crazy. So we're gonna do a quick intro question because that's what we do. Except for the time we had Kevin Tetz on, we just started rocking.
Oh yeah.
But we're gonna we're gonna have an intro question here, and this one's from Patrick. And basically, what were you thinking about doing before the virus started to spread and before they like literally locked down the country? What was on your mind? Was there something that you were wanting to do?
Oh me? I wanted to go camping. I wanted to go.
You always wanted.
I wanted to go backpacking, but obviously can't do that now, which is kind of odd because where you would normally go backpacking, there's like not a soul in sight.
Yeah.
But they still have it closed off.
Just so everybody knows, Shane likes to go backpacking in Joshua Tree. So if you're ever in Joshua Tree, you may want to see Shane. And make sure you say hi, because he loves being out there with other people.
Yeah, no, I like to go solo. And I'm armed, so don't bother me.
Well, I'm surprised you get away with that in California. Well, it's like, right now, this would have been about the time that Easter Jeep Safari in Moab would have been wrapping up. And, of course, that all got canceled. And, and with that getting canceled, everybody's jonesing for off-roading and getting outdoors right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the outdoors thing is getting kind of serious because there's a park right below where we live. They have it shut down. Like, they put barriers up.
But people are still going, aren't they?
Well, they're parking across the street, and they're going over there.
There's so many people out and about just during the day. I mean, like in our neighborhood, you see a few people, the regulars walking their dogs, stuff like that. Now you see a gazillion people walking around the neighborhood. Every time you hit a intersection, you're stopped for like 20 minutes because you're waiting for the pedestrians to go by because they hit the button. And I mean, these are like places where you never see anybody walking. Everybody's outside now.
In my opinion, I think that's okay. I mean,
it's okay, but
it's hard to just sit in the house. The one thing that cracks me is all of the movie stars.
If they told everybody to go get outside, they'd probably hide out in their house. It's just such reverse psychology.
Yeah, what cracks me is the movie stars that are like bummed out that they can't. Like, they have to shelter in place in like a 7,000 square foot mansion.
Yeah, they can't hit the Trader Joe's in
with
Calabasas.
With a bowling alley and with pool tables and a pool. And
life is rough.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Well, it's like everybody's got to get out too right now because we're, with everybody sitting at home. One of the reasons why it's not, I actually moved to another spot to work during the day is I'm at home near the kitchen. It's real easy to snack and keep eating. Yeah. That caloric intake versus calorie burning ratio is way off for a lot of people right now. So, you go to Walmart. I was at Walmart earlier this morning before things got crazy, and you see things like this. These are the new fudge brownie flavored M&Ms.
Oh, nice. Cow, dude. Yeah, I think the only thing I've caught so far is like 10 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly, like we were cooking chocolate chip cookies on the Traeger the other day, and I don't know. It's just,
That's awesome.
My mom's going to be really ashamed of me when she hears this because she's always on me to make sure I diet and everything like that. But I'm telling you what, it's nuts. And you're right. You're taking in calories, but you can't spend them to get them out.
Yeah.
And normally I do that.
Maybe after this is all up, people are going to start up the Corona diet. I should trademark it.
I think we're
trademark
on the
it. We can't publish this
right
video.
Now.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't publish the video just yet.
Let me trademark that.
All right, so Patrick, back to it. What were you thinking about doing? I know you were thinking about getting something new, right? I mean,
yeah. Well, I'd actually kind of looked at. So, I have my truck. My vehicle every day is a '93 Silverado, and it has 400,000 miles on it.
Yes.
And I've got a bunch of parts to fix it, but a friend from GM told me about General Motors is doing a deal to help cut down. They've got a glut of new trucks on the lots. They're offering a deal. It was 84-month term, so a 7-year loan, 0% financing, and first 4 months of payments deferred.
So what about deal wise? Can you get a great deal? Can you just throw them a lowball deal and get it?
Well, that's the whole thing is, between that and then looking around to see what was on the lots for trucks, and I actually found a couple. Unfortunately, they weren't like the higher trim level trucks because most everything on the lots you see that's not like a work truck. They're all super cabs. You rarely see a higher trim level regular cab truck on the lots anymore. So I found one that was a at the top end of a work truck level, and the price was like 24K, and I'm doing the math with the down payment and everything, and the monthly payment worked out to be under $250 a month.
Wow.
So I'd been like really thinking hard. I was like, but a brand new truck would be my first ever brand new vehicle, and I was really, really thinking about it. And then the whole virus situation started to pick up some steam. I'm like, yeah, not a good financial decision right now. Just don't want to chance it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy is you buy a new truck like that in California. I saw one of the guys from Speed Society, Mike the Wrench.
Mm-hmm.
He had a picture of his new truck. He got a new Ford Super Duty.
Mm-hmm.
The registration payment was almost $1,000, and
yeah,
that's per year because it's a commercial truck.
Yeah.
Oh, I know you guys take it in the teeth for tag renewals and stuff out there. Like a typical car tag renewal is like $400-$500 a year. Like renewing the tag on my truck with the specialty license plate I have for University of Central Florida is $80 a year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's nuts. I think that's cheaper than what my boat costs.
Yeah.
A 12-foot boat. I mean, you've seen it. It's like a dinghy.
Yeah, it should be peanuts per year.
Yeah.
But it's not.
No, it's not. Well, my 2006 F-250 Super Duty cost me, I think, like the registration part of it is like $35, but the stupid commercial deal, it adds another $300 and something on it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nuts to me.
Yeah.
And the roads suck, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well,
That's
it's
going to the
funny, though.
roads. It's not
supposed
helping.
to be for roads.
Yeah, it's
Well,
nuts.
I knew a few years ago they were having it. They were starting to crack down because people with boats and trailers. They were going across the border to Arizona, registering them in Arizona for a fraction of what California costs. And then the state started to get wise to that and crack down with their usual draconian methods.
Yeah. They somehow figure out all the tricks.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, that's because they're tracking us.
Yeah.
They're tracking us with Google or something like that.
Something like that.
It's crazy. So you were thinking about camping, and Patrick was thinking about a new truck. I think you should pull the trigger on the new truck, especially driving around.
Offer them $18,000.
Yeah, just throw it out there. I would actually.
They're dying for people to buy vehicles right now.
I would be interested in seeing how that goes. Can you film that interaction? Because
I could look at doing something there, but I think if anything, I'm going to wait until we start coming out of this because they're going to stay desperate to move stuff anyway.
Yeah.
And I've got most of the stuff to fix up my Silverado that I've got now. I've got new motor. I've got all the stuff to rebuild the front end. I've got a new dash for it.
Patrick's a man's man.
Mm-hmm.
I've had it since 2003 when I was in college, so I'm very attached to it.
Sentimental, yeah.
It's a single cab.
Yeah, it's a regular cab long bed truck.
That's why you were so interested in that picture of the Bronco the other day with that regular cab 1500 Kevin Brown's truck.
Oh, yeah.
And that thing's rotted. It's kind of like a sleeper, if you will.
Yeah.
Well, and it's actually, interestingly enough, coming onto the industry side of things, the GMT 400 trucks, which are 1988 through 98, 99, they're surging in popularity right now. And there's a lot of companies that are coming out with new products for them, and a lot of people are doing, they're starting to do more with them because they're one of the best options out there for someone if you want a fun but cheap, project vehicle to get into, because you can do a hell of a lot with them.
Yeah.
Well, probably, too, all the square bodies are gone.
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole thing, yeah. I mean, go try to find a rust-free square body that's actually affordable. And God forbid, even on top of that, find one that's a short bed. Good luck. You know, it's...
Yeah.
The trucks that were $1,500 to $1,000, 3-4 years ago, now those same trucks are going for 8 to 10.
Yeah.
Well, I used to be really upset with my mom because she threw away all my Star Wars figures. and I figured, or she donated them to the preschool. But I was like, oh man, I could have put my kids through college with that. But you know what? I had an '88 Suburban, and that thing's probably would have been worth way more than I paid for it. I had a '74 Land Cruiser Jeep.
Yeah.
And that thing, I'm sure, because it was all stock.
Yeah.
And I also had a '69 Badger Bug.
Oh yeah, Badger Bug.
And I'm sure that, I mean, if I would have just held on to those cars, unfortunately, I just was never in the financial.
Yeah, if you had something cool when you were young, it's valuable now.
Yeah, it's
if
true.
you still have it.
I don't know how valuable is my Chevy Love. I had a '74 Chevy Love.
Oh, actually, those things, they're a little esoteric, but there are guys that really like those things, especially because, there are still small block conversion kits out there for them. As long as it's rust-free, it's not beat up. There's guys that like to find those.
Yeah, it was a California car. That was when I was 16, though, and that was 30 years ago. But,
of course, and now today you take one and drop an LS motor in it and turn it into a land missile.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I just remember it had I blew the tranny out of it, and we had to put an Opel transmission in it.
Oh shit!
And it never held. It never held third gear.
Oh, weird.
But I had it lifted with like just some little 31s on there. But the motor was never really strong enough to go into fourth unless you were going on the freeway for long distance. So I had to literally hold it into third gear the entire time.
Out.
I just one hand on the steering wheel, one hand on the shifter. That didn't last long.
Yeah.
But anyway, what was I thinking about doing before the virus?
Yeah, what were you gonna do? Fallout 76?
No, that is on my top game right now, though. I was actually looking at buying a new truck as well. But now, listening to Patrick's story, like, okay, my Super Duty's got 77,000 miles on it. I was thinking about getting, like a 2013, 14, or 15 diesel.
Well, you have job security, so you don't have to worry about that.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing is, this guy's put 400,000 miles on his truck. And I'm at 77. Do I really need a new truck?
Probably not.
It's a V10. Aren't they like indestructible?
I have no idea.
It's a V10. Eek.
Yeah. He's got the later model of V10 though.
Yeah,
I think that makes it a little better.
The one that does. I mean,
the one that
outside of the gas consumption, the one that doesn't like the pop head gaskets.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got the 410, I believe, rear end. So it's called. It's like a poor man's diesel, and it tows my trailer like good.
Well, interesting you bring up because the V10. Because have you guys seen what's replacing that V10? The new Ford engine, the new Ford truck engine.
That big Godzilla V8.
Yeah, that thing's gonna suck gas.
It's a push rod V8. Going the other direction. Has a lot of similarities to an LS motor, and that's not debating the Ford versus Chevy thing there, but it's going to be 6.9 liters.
Yeah,
I think it's the
huge.
debut displacement with 360 to 370 horsepower and well over 400 foot-pound of torque on it.
Yeah.
And I mean, that thing, besides what it's going to do for the truck side, is when they start filtering out into the market for what guys can start doing, because I've seen where one was dropped into a Fox body Mustang, and thing fit beautifully. I mean, it fit a way better than a current Coyote or Mod motor fits in one of those.
Wow,
interesting.
Yeah, so the V10 that I have is a 6.8 liter, and I think it's like 340 something. I have no idea what the torque is, but the horsepower is like 30 something. I mean, it does good. I will tell you where it sucks is getting into altitude, trying to pull a trailer. Like going into Big Bear or something like that.
Well, you get that with any vehicle.
Or like going to SEMA where we have to go over Cajon Pass. I got the pedal mashed and I'm doing 45 and there's diesel.
Yeah, you need a diesel for that.
Yeah, there's diesels passing me, like pulling 4 or 5 cars going to SEMA. I'm like, yeah. But Patrick, you got 400,000 miles on your truck. I think I'm just gonna hold on to it. So I changed my mind.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I changed my mind.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing there is just, take care of the, make sure the motor doesn't overheat to pop a head gasket. And then, on your transmission, make sure you got plenty of cooling on that front to, to make sure it doesn't fry the automatic. Because like the Dodge guys, from that same period, all the Dodge diesel Cummins guys, why you see so many stick, manual transmission equipped 3/4 and 1 tons is because the automatic they had for a long time was terrible. and it was a hell of a lot cheaper to put a clutch in something than opposed to have that spend $4 or $5 to have that transmission rebuilt.
Yeah, that's the truth. That's the truth. Let's switch gears. Have you guys seen this NASCAR virtual racing thing?
It's iRacing, right, Patrick?
Yeah, they're calling it iRacing. I've seen a little bit of it. What's kind of funny is the number of people in the stands is the same as the real races lately.
Ouch.
And then there was the recent incident with Kyle Larson that proved to be a little ugly for him, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was not good. You gotta be careful what you say on the mic.
Mm-hmm.
You look like you didn't hear.
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear about this news, but I was just nodding like I knew what we were talking about.
Yeah, that's Shane.
He let slip a racial slur on over the simulated radio to a spotter, and as those things typically go, it didn't happen well. Like within 48 hours, the sponsors had bailed on him, so they had to.
I did not see that.
Ganassi had to fire him.
Oh, bummer.
Wow.
Was it Ganassi or Roush? No, Roush had to fire him.
Yeah, bummer.
Yeah, gotta be careful what you say on the mic, especially nowadays, because it's just it'll live with you forever. I try to explain that to my kid all the time when he's on doing his streaming stuff.
Oh,
you gotta watch what you say.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I mean, what's is it gonna? I mean, I can't imagine we're gonna be stuck at our houses for all that much longer to come up with some sort of series that's gonna be virtual.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's debates. I know that some of the professional sports leagues now are finally that can play in. They'll just play in an empty arena, but the sports leagues are starting to talk about firing up, and the government wants them to in a lot of ways because it gives people something to watch and do to bring a little bit of normalcy back into things, and it helps keeping people inside at home, with the social distancing and whatnot. Like here in Florida, our governor gave essential status to the WWE because they film all that stuff over in Orlando.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And people were giving him hell for that, and he had to come out and go, people, one, there's no audience, they're just filming in the studio with no people in front of them, and two, it gives people entertainment, it gives people content and stuff to watch, and it keeps them inside, sequestered, not amongst people, not going stir crazy. So, I mean, there's legitimate benefits to it. And now, like PGA, golf, you could play golf with no problems.
Are your golf courses open out there?
Yeah, our courses are all open right now.
I mean, I guess you can be 6 feet apart, right?
Nobody's golfing by our house.
What courses are doing is one person to a cart.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's better. That's better anyway, because if you roll it.
Right, and then a lot of courses still have where you can walk. You can have a pull cart and be walking on foot to play golf.
Yeah, that's good.
Patrick, one person to a cart is a lot smarter just in case you roll it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that way you only have to lift off one person and not two.
That's right. I mean, gee whiz.
I know that from experience.
I mean, going back to the WWE getting essential status, I feel like I should rip my shirt off and yell Hulkamania.
Yeah.
But I don't.
Hogan! Oh, wait, wrong one.
Please don't. Okay, I won't. Yeah, nobody wants to see my additional 10 pounds from the Corona lockdown. All right.
Are you gonna rip your shirt off and do the truffle shuffle?
Oh, that's even better. That's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Goonies. All right, that's a whole nother show. So
you guys.
Exactly. All right, so I have a question for everybody. What's your reaction now when you're out and you hear or see somebody sneeze or cough? Are you freaked out? I mean, I gotta imagine you're freaked out.
I know. I mean, you just you want to do that. You want to do the cross at them. Oh.
I saw this happen the other day in Walmart. If I see someone doing something like that and they're not shielding themselves somehow,
right. Yeah. Hey, buddy.
I'm like, whoa! I go the other direction. I saw a guy. I was at one end of an aisle. Guys walking across the other end of the aisle, and I see him start to yawn, and he just lets out this big yawn without covering his mouth, and I'm like, I just stopped and went the other direction.
Look at all those droplets you're emitting. Yeah,
exactly. Life is going to be so much different. It really is, because I think of just even locally here. I mean, we live north of San Diego, and it's a pretty large town, but we have Cruising Grand right? That's
Yeah.
supposed to go from March till like October or something like that. And it's everybody in the San Diego, and I would say even Riverside area, probably brings their cars down and they
Yeah.
park on one street in Escondido. It's called Cruising Grand. But I just can't see like the crowd getting huge for that
No.
anymore.
They won't.
You know,
I don't think so.
I think initially it might be a little small, but I think it's all going to depend on what happens before that takes place.
Mm-hmm.
If there are some events that happen, get some events under our belts before that happens, and everybody kind of sees everything go all right and can relax a bit. Then the events that come later on, because everybody is anxious to get out,
Yeah.
I think they're going to be gangbusters. It's going to be packed.
No, I hope so. I really do. I love Cruising Grand, and it brings a lot of money to just Escondido's economy. But, you know, I was talking about that with my wife the other night. It's just like those things are going to be different. Like Disneyland. I mean, you and I have gone to Disneyland. We have small kids
Yeah.
the same age, and we always. Well, you and I always used to complain that it was like
way
nuts to
too
butts
crowded. Yeah, nuts to butts, way too crowded.
back then.
Well, one thing's for sure, in the future now, when you go there, you're not going to have someone in line right behind you breathing down your neck anymore.
Are you sure, man? Because
don't
I
know.
just don't think that
Turn around and cough a little
there's
bit. and they're
certain
gonna move
people on
back.
this planet that don't seem to like abide by.
No, they don't have
I like
spatial. They don't have spatial
Yeah.
spatial awareness.
I like 6
You're
feet.
violating my territorial bubble.
Yeah. People always do that to me. I hate it.
Yeah, it's nuts. But yeah,
Though on the theme park thing, when they first reopen them, because people are going to be a bit nervous about going out, that's going to be the perfect time to go because you'll be able to go in. There won't be a lot of people
Yeah, it's
until for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be super clean too. They're going to be
Oh, yeah.
really aggressive about decontaminating everything.
yeah. And we went to Disneyland and we took my kid to Disneyland for his birthday, like right before. Actually, it was already announced, but
How
they
much?
hadn't
How
locked
much
us
did that
down.
cost you?
Let's not talk about it. More than
Yeah,
the
I was like,
registration
well,
of my
here-
truck.
Like just before everything happened, Disney World here in Florida upped even the Florida resident prices for Disney World. A one-day pass for the park was almost $200.
Yeah, that's the same
just
for us.
nuts. Yeah, that's
For the
nuts.
one day. Yeah.
And I find that abhorrent, except for I'm gonna have to do it to go visit the new Star Wars, section.
Yeah.
Oh, that was legit. And here I am talking as a Star Wars geek, but that was legit. It was worth it. I mean, we were spraying our hands every 2 seconds, but I mean,
Yeah.
whatever. Grocery stores. Have you guys seen the one-way signs in grocery stores?
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's hard for me to navigate, man. I was at Vaughn's, which is Safeway out where you're from, Patrick. It's hard
Yeah.
to navigate. Like I don't go to the grocery store that often, okay?
Mhm.
But when I do, it's like on the way home, pick up some stuff, and you know what? I don't understand. Like, so one way, I really honestly can only go one way down the aisle. I mean, I drive. I was just
now,
going the other way.
What took you 15 minutes now takes you 45 minutes.
Well,
to get
that's
it
what I
done.
was thinking.
So you're just in there longer, exposing yourself.
Well, and
Right.
then you've still got, just like when you see people driving on the street, they're going the wrong way down the aisles no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah, so one way.
Call me crazy, but I think if everybody's got a mask on, even
Yeah.
if someone's infected and you pass by them, you just pass by them. I don't think you're going to get sick. I don't think the cooties are going to jump off them and chase you down.
And look, I'm cool with having to wear a mask at the grocery store. I worked in the grocery industry for a long, long time, and you are around people all the time, and
Yeah.
people make stupid decisions about coughing and sneezing and
Mhm.
all that kind of stuff. And so I get it. And in my mind, I'm not worried. I don't wear a mask otherwise. But if
Yeah.
I'm going to go to the grocery store, I feel for those people, so I throw on a mask and put on some gloves just so they're kind of
Yeah.
comfortable. But I just don't get one way.
No.
And then you can only have two people in the aisle. I mean, to your point, how
Yeah.
long is it going to take you to go grocery
yeah, that's
shopping?
not going to work. I mean, there's a lot of mumbly
We
peggers
haven't
in
had
there.
that out here. That seems logistically, that seems like an absolute nightmare where only two people going down the aisle at once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I-
That's not going to work.
I mean, normally, I'm in and out. Okay, I'm not window shopping at the grocery
I don't know
store.
I don't know if Trader Joe's has changed their aisles, making their things one way at this point, but because everybody has Trader Joe's around them. But
Yeah.
they were just limiting how many people can go in.
Right.
It did not having, they have a little line out front They let a few people in, a few people walk out, a few people walk in, a few people walk out, a few people walk in, and I think that works out good.
I think you're right too. And
They're
but
just
they have
asking,
a smaller
you're asking too
footprint
much
as
at the
well.
grocery stores, and I think they're just starting to get mad because
Yeah.
they're working hard. They're having to stock a lot. There's people are just buying things they don't need, so it's just
Sure.
it's overwhelming.
Probably everybody's asking like, when's the toilet paper coming back?
Yeah. I need TP
I
for my
actually
bunghole.
I have seen some on the shelf this week where like being out and there's actually some on the shelf.
It's starting to trickle back.
Yeah, that's a good sign, I think. Paper towels. We were able to get paper towels for the shop the other day.
Yeah.
I mean, we were it got down to like we were washing and drying our hands with shop towels, and that's expensive
Yeah,
as
they're
all
pricey.
get, right?
Yeah,
So,
the blue ones, the blue paper towels.
Yeah.
we're there. So, yeah, the one-way thing to me is just, maybe limit the people and let us go through. But I noticed they were limiting people going into Home Depot the other day. Those stores are massive.
Oh yeah.
So you
Yeah,
have
they have
like
a line.
one,
Yeah, same thing. They monitor how many go in and how many go out.
one person for like 100 square feet or something.
Who knows?
I mean, it's just nuts.
Well-
All I wanted to do was get like charcoal for my grill. That's
Yeah.
it. They should have an express line or something going on. But
Mhm.
you're like,
My dad works part-time at Home Depot for something to do. And yeah, they've got all the Home Depots have gone to like only 100 people at a time in the store. But what they've had a problem with, and this is they've actually got lines now specifically for contractors because they've got people who are they're taking little kids and they're going to Home Depot just to get out of the house and occupy the kids. Meanwhile, there's contractors and other people who are there to get legit stuff to do their job and whatnot. And it's really created a lot of frustration.
Yeah, if your kids are old enough, leave them at home.
yeah.
Or
Or leave them in the car. I remember when I was a kid, at least.
yeah,
Loved to
leave
be
them in the
left
car on a hot day with the windows up. Oh wait, that's only the dogs.
That explains a lot.
Oh my God, Shane's. Don't listen to Shane, everybody. Don't take him literally. We don't.
Yeah.
So couple other things, and then we'll sign off. Did anybody happen to see the new? So Mr. Banks from Banks Performance is doing unboxings. So and if you have not watched that yet, it is awesome. And he did a Heatshield one, and it was really, really cool. He went over our turbo blanket. He went over the pipe armor, and then he talked a little bit about the lacing hooks and some other stuff. And it was really cool to see because someone else is super excited about our product. I mean, we told him you could paint the armor, and he was stoked about that.
Yeah.
He thought that was really cool. And they're going to use it on a couple of the builds that they're doing on those videos. So if you haven't checked that out, I really recommend you go and look at that. And we actually put a link to that video on our YouTube, so you can check it out. It's under Friends of Heatshield Products.
Yeah, he tells a funny joke at the end too.
Yeah, you got to stick around to the end. It's like Marvel.
We'll post a link on the social media channels for everybody too, so they can find it.
Yeah, but that is, well, for one, he's like a class act. I mean, there's nobody better, and two, it's just cool to get like a knowledge kick from him, and the way he does it, it's just like like a friend's doing it.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It was really
It's
good.
neat.
And the other thing is that we have a new video up on YouTube. And I really think it's like a game changer. You and I went down to RPM, which is Richard's Performance Muffler in
Oceanside.
And normally, I think you guys have probably seen our videos. We install something and say, this is going to stop the heat, but we never really show you how. And guess what? We did FLIR images this time, videos. We took the floorboard of a pre-runner that was like plus 200 and something degrees after we ran it.
Yeah.
FLIR images. And then we showed you.
Then we did a muffler, muffler armor, and a pipe armor kit on some of the areas underneath there, and it was
dropped it to like 88
It's
degrees.
a massive difference, yeah. And you can see it on the FLIR camera, so that's what makes it good.
Yeah, so game changer on that if you haven't seen that. And I know Patrick's got some stuff coming up, and I know you guys, if you watch our IGTV, you always get into Patrick's stuff, and if you haven't seen the one on the John Wick car, you may be the only one in America that hasn't seen that. But that one's cool. And we're going to do some other cool things. I think you got some like World War II stuff that you filmed from
Yep,
the Midway.
we got some of that, and got a couple things. I'm going to be working on a little
awesome.
something for a new blog tomorrow on a 57 Chevy. So I'll be doing a little IGTV showing what we're working on there. Something involving using some sticky shield and some magnets.
Yeah, sweet. Hey, there was a couple of podcast questions that we may want to try to knock out. I think you had one, and then some guy has a non-automotive question,
But it was about heat.
but it was about
Yeah.
heat.
So I mean, we can
Patrick,
address it.
Let's tackle the one. I think it was like a vapor lock one, and then let's tackle. You can read them, and then let's tackle the other one. Let's see if we can help.
Yeah.
Well, we got responding to our Instagram post. We had someone who messaged us, and he was talking about. Let's see, where are we at? We just had that. Here we go. I'm sorry, no, this question was from Facebook, from Chris Chevalier. I'm going to pronounce his name. That might not be right. And he goes, vapor lock, a shield for the fuel rails, which, Heatshield we do. We have the FR shield kit that is made specifically for different fuel rails to wrap and protect them from heat radiated from the engine that can soak into the fuel rails. And most people don't think that, it's fuel injection. You don't have vapor lock with fuel injection. That's not true. You can have issues with your fuel injectors because of the fuel being too hot.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and aluminum, because aluminum is such a great conductor of energy, and it conducts heat very well. So naturally, all the heat that's going in that aluminum is going to get transferred to the fuel that's going through it. Even though there's a decent amount of flow, it's still going to heat it up, and it's going to heat the injector itself up too. Yeah. So, we've got the FR Shield kit, which we did actually an install blog on a while ago that I'll be posting a link to and answered this gentleman's question, about how to handle that.
Yeah, and just on a note, there are some videos on YouTube about the FR Shield and some detailed installs from Shane. But
yeah, it's super easy.
Yeah, the one thing that we do have coming up is I went down and filmed a series with the Eisenhower brothers right before the Mint. And Chris and Nick threw on that FR Shield, and they did it on the truck. They had they had kind of like a raised fuel rail, but the way the same guys that we went and filmed with the other day at Richard's Performance Mufflers did their plumbing, and basically the exhaust is running near the fuel rails, and so we did the shield there, and that helped. And that video is going to debut here in the next couple weeks, so take a look and check that out. But yeah, they're definitely vapor lock on those rails is a big possibility. And then on top of that, if it's not the rails or if you shield the rails and you want to do some extra stuff, I mean, we always recommend our sleeving. And we have sleeving that you do not need to even take off your fuel line to put up. It's a hook and loop closure on the lava tube. And we did that on a Jeep for ORW and helped him curb some of that problem. But we definitely have things, and you're not talking about hundreds of dollars to get these kits. I mean, a little bit of your time and
small investment.
And a small investment is going to help. I mean, I would rather pay a little bit of money than get freaking stuck somewhere because my car's locked up from not getting enough fuel, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot cheaper than a wrecker. Having a wrecker come out. That's for you, Kevin Brown.
The hell's a wrecker?
Kevin Brown says wrecker.
You mean a tow truck?
Tow truck, yeah. Our boy Kevin Brown up in Valley Center.
Yeah.
Get a wrecker over here.
You always hate when you got to call the hook to come get you.
Yeah.
The hook, yeah, there you go.
There's another good one.
Yeah, good. So, yeah, and then, so that's vapor lock, and let's read this next one, because it's kind of amazing, and you may have to adjust the word there and just, I don't know. Well, we can bleep it if we have to.
That's okay. Yeah, we'll bleep it. Just go ahead.
I want you to read it word for word.
Yeah.
You want You want me to read it?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So this question comes to us from Chuck, and we'll leave Chuck's last name out to save his embarrassment. He goes, "What can I do when I have jalapenos for dinner at night, like in omelets or nachos or what have you, around 2 a.m. I end up with a horrible burning problem. I haven't always had this issue. For years, I ran my system wide open, like 7-Eleven nachos and foot-long hot dogs, drowning in jalapenos, all without a problem. But something happened along the way. Now, if I have just a few jalapenos any time past or around, 4 or 5 p.m., my night's sleep is tore up and I have excessive heat issues.
Well,
Heat issues where?
yeah, exactly. So heat is
Sounds like heat issues with this exhaust system.
yeah, I don't think I mean, I'm not well, onions really crack me now. I can't have onions anymore, and I feel bad for this character, and it sounds like he maybe misunderstood the post, but we'll try to help him out.
Yeah.
Antacid is a good one,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
yeah,
there you go.
And,
That's a good one.
And maybe you need to back off some of that stuff as you get a little bit older. I'm
Yeah.
not sure how old this guy is, but I probably over 40 because I can't eat onions anymore. I don't mind jalapenos. That doesn't kill me. But, yeah, you got to be careful what your intake is, especially if you're eating food from 7-Eleven.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and it's actually for those of us who have to kind of use antacids regularly, we've been hit too because, with the Pepsid AC, or not Pepsid, Zantac being pulled off the market.
Yeah.
Ranitidine, and that worked the best out of anything if you have issues with that. So now it's like trying to find one of the other solutions that actually works, or if you get lucky and you find a little
Don't
out of the way
touch your
convenience
face.
store that's still got some Zantac on the shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and again, this guy he just needs to back off some of
Yeah.
that food, I think.
He sounds like he has issues.
Yeah. I'm not
Also, too, I've heard that if you drink aloe drink, that it helps with acid reflux a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Well-
Aloe vera is like the cure-all. That's good for everything.
Like it's an aloe
Yeah.
drink, you can get
Yeah.
it. Like usually a lot of the Spanish markets have it. You get in a bottle, and it's an aloe drink,
Yeah.
and that's supposed to help with like the erosion of the esophagus and the acid reflux.
There you go. So, Chuck, if you're listening, we answer all questions or try our best. I would just back off some of the food that you're putting into your body, and maybe try this.
Maybe have it earlier, like for lunch.
Yeah, or try this thing. I mean, who knows? Maybe he's got a job or something where he can't access food.
Maybe he
all
works
that
at 7-Eleven.
Oh, that's a good.
Yeah.
He could work at 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
It's a possibility.
Although tasty, yeah, it could create some acid problems.
Yeah. Remember, what you put in,
Those
It's
mini
gonna come
tacos
out.
are awesome.
Yeah.
and that's everything. Gas,
Yeah.
like fuel for your car,
Yeah.
not gas. But it just depends on what you put in your car or your
Yeah.
body. So take
You want
it
to put in
easy.
some top-tier food. You need top-tier food.
Exactly. Hit the Whole Foods or something like that. Hit Trader Joe's. Get
Yeah.
yourself.
Get yourself some fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
Some good hippie food.
He might.
Well, be careful though, because the fruit sometimes, because as acidic as some
Oh,
fruit
yeah.
is,
Yeah, take
that'll-
that back.
that'll
I
set
take
it
that
off,
back.
Too.
Yeah, oranges. He may have a problem with oranges.
Hey Chuck, just eat rice cakes.
Yeah. There you go. Or some cardboard.
All right. Well, that's all we got for today, and we're stoked that you joined us again, Patrick.
Yeah, good talking to you, Patrick.
Oh.
I enjoy talking with you guys. We are coast to coast. That's what I think about it is we are coast to coast with the podcast.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. And we appreciate everybody listening. If you have questions, it's podcast at heatshieldproducts and .com. And if you want to throw a DM on our Instagram or Facebook, we definitely answer your questions. And we really appreciate everybody for listening. I know we sometimes get a little sideways, but that's just
Yeah.
the way we are. So
Yeah.
check out the YouTube videos. Again, we're dropping Eisenhower Brothers series, getting ready when they were getting the truck ready for the mint. That's going to start next week, and I think we have 4 videos. And
Yeah.
definitely check out the new one on YouTube now from Richard's Performance Mufflers,
Yeah.
because we're really stoked on the FLIR images, and we
Yeah, they
hope
look
you
cool.
will be too.
And just to set the record straight, I do not lock my kids in the car with the windows up on hot days, and nor do I condone that.
Yeah, put it this way: his wife would smack him over the
Same
head
thing
with a
with dogs.
baseball bat.
Don't do that with your animals.
Well, you don't have any dogs or animals.
No,
You
but I-
refuse to have that.
I love animals. I just don't want them living with me.
That's true. All right, so
But
for
have
everybody,
kids.
yeah. So for everybody here, thanks for listening, and we'll see you again next week. Thanks,
Yeah.
Patrick.
See you, Patrick.
See you guys.
From everyone at Heatshield Products, we thank you for listening to Hot Laps. Leave that review, subscribe, tell a friend, and most of all, stay cool. We'll see you next time, right here on Hot Laps.